This is Healing with Sunshine, and this is the very first episode of Why Do I Care? Now, I know that that might sound, kind of snippy, I guess, but believe me, it's not. I am not going to say that it was never snippy, because it was. But I can remember. See, this is hard for me to say, I guess. These are things that I've come to realization, and I feel like I need to share them. And I feel like there is just a part of me that's just terrified to share anything, honestly. And that's kind of how I came up with Why Do I Care? Because I've spent all of this time confidently being myself and just always doing whatever I wanted because I didn't care what anybody thought. I really didn't. I still kind of really don't, but hear me out. Then I got to the point where I was starting to be called to start a YouTube channel. And honestly, that was probably 8 or 9 years ago. I can't imagine where I'd be right now had I started that channel 8 or 9 years ago. But either way, the fact of the matter is, it started now. And I'm talking now. Excuse me for needing my coffee, but I really do feel like my body is reacting and to me trying to do this. My body's like, no, don't tell everybody who you are because then they'll see the real you. And that's terrifying because nobody likes the real you. And I don't necessarily know that that's the case. And reason being is I haven't really showed that person to really anybody. Not completely. Since I was little. I learned pretty quickly that who I was a controversial person. And I realized that who I am now, sometimes still a controversial person. Not because I've really done anything, because really just people don't understand what I'm saying. And they've never really understood what I was saying. People think that certain things are, coming across in one way when my perception of what I said was different. But it's always, peculiar to me how we decide to respond to others. Because, going back to why do I care? There are certain things, not that many of you know this, I've been married for a very, very, very long time. A very long time. And, there's certain things after, 30 some odd years that, might start to get on your nerves. Maybe just a little. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely perfect, and I would never do anything to get on my husband's nerves after 30 years. No, never. Now, he's probably got a different story for that. But from my point of view, I've been perfect, right? No, I knew I wasn't perfect, but nonetheless, how many times do we, correct our spouse for things that don't matter? They don't matter, and because I've been with my spouse since I was, 15 and a half, 16 years old, There are times when I have to remind myself, Sunshine, you are 49 years old and you have to behave not like you're 16 anymore. Don't get me wrong. There's still parts of me that are always going to be 16, and I'm okay with that too. But as far as relationships, I need to, I have been, and I still have things that I'm correcting. I've been working on it for 33 years now. And just those little things, I can't even remember what it was. Oh, I do know one. Washing the dishes and leaving the sponge in the sink instead of putting it in a little dish. That's something that I could let get on my nerves, or I could be mad about, I could hold a grudge about, I could do any of those things. Now I'm picking something simple because I feel like that's what's appropriate. But, how many times have I don't know, oh, I know, left a wet bathing suit on the floor in the bathroom. Sorry, babe. But I'm bad at that. I use our hot tub a lot, and sometimes if the suit needs to be washed or whatever, I leave it on top of the towel in the bathroom on the floor, and that's, neither here nor there, because the way I see it is, if I can overlook the sponge in the sink, then you can overlook the, bathroom towel on the floor with the wet bathing suit on it. And for the most part, that's good and that works. But then there are times where it's just like, it doesn't. All of a sudden, today, that matters a whole lot to me. It matters a whole lot that sponge is in the sink. For whatever reason, it matters. And I pick up the sponge, maybe, and say, you could put the sponge in the little dish. I did put the dish there, for the sponge to go in, or whatever. However that might go. You all know, it's not like you don't have these conversations at your house. But, and I have to check myself. And honestly, I've had to check myself a lot lately since I really started to do something with this channel. Because I've been so insecure. I've been insecure since I started doing this. And like I said, I've always been so confident. And back to the sponge in the sink, I check myself and I'm like, why do I care? Why do I care? So what if the sponge is left in the sink? So what if it gets stinky? I'm going to run the dishwasher with it inside of the dishwasher this evening anyway. So why does it matter if it's in the sink? If it bothers me, I should pick it up, put it in the little dish. I'm the one that put the dish there. Maybe I should put it in there. But I don't know. Why do I care? Seriously. How on earth can I let a wet sponge have an effect on my mood? How on earth can I have just something so trivial matter so much that I'm willing to let it affect my mood? I'm willing to let it affect, I don't know, anything and everything that I'm willing to let it affect that day. Now, the sponge is a very trivial thing, and there are bigger or smaller issues within relationships than, a wet sponge or a wet bathing suit. Now, I can't tell you the process that my husband uses to go through as far as, how he deals with the wet bathing suit on the floor. But I'm not responsible for his response to the things that I do. I mean, yeah, can I try to do better? And do I try to do better? Yes, I do. I do. But there's still that time when I'm like, trying to be quiet or whatever. I don't know. Where I just leave it there. And I forget about it. Not intentional, not really a big deal. But I am not responsible for how he uses that situation to grow. I am responsible for how I use the sponge situation to grow. My responsibility is to figure out, why do I care? Why do I care? I seriously put that sponge on the top rack of the dishwasher when I run it. Why do I care if it's sat in the sink? I could just use the one that's sitting beside it if I don't want to use the one that's sat in the sink, and run both of them in the dishwasher at the end of the day. And life will be fine. And 99.9% of the times I do that. But, again, there are times when I need to check myself. And I need to figure out exactly why I care about whatever it is that's affecting me. And I think that is where I'm going to leave it today. So if you would like to get to the bottom of why you're allowing certain things to affect you, give me a call or send me an email. It'll be in the description. Thanks for watching. This is Healing with Sunshine.